Hi and welcome to my channel, The Stitcher Wife. I'm Elizabeth and today we're going to talk about what I've been making in March and all my entries to the So Frugal 22. Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. Today it is all about March makes and So Frugal 22. Most of it is the same, to be completely honest. I have not been well enough to do anything else, but I'm so happy with what I've been doing and what's been done, and we'll take it from there. First off, I would love to say hi to everyone that's new here. I hope you will enjoy what you're getting, and I hope that you would consider subscribing, since that would mean so much, and like and maybe leave a comment, because it would mean so much to get the channel out there. My channel is a very small one so far, and I am hoping that we can grow a bit and get some more people in here. That would be fantastic. And to those of you that have been here with me from the start or that have joined later on, thank you so much for your continued support, and keep coming back to me and giving me likes and giving me comments that encourage me and lifts me up. And you don't know how much you mean to me. I've talked about it in every video so far, and I am hoping that you're starting to get a feel of what this actually means to me, because it is a big deal, and it is meaning so much to me that I can't even describe it. I have had a couple of tough months this last period again, and you that have been here before know that, and as icing on the cake, I've ended up with double-sided pneumonia that I'm just recovering from, and yeah, it's been tough. That with the cast on the hand on top of that, it was a bit much to me, so I actually just tucked down in bed and laid there for a while. But you guys made me rise again and get out of bed and start sewing and start watching videos and start thinking about making new videos, and thank you for that. I will talk more about this in my Friday sews coming this Friday, because I thought that there might be some people here that just wants to see what I made of my So Frugal inspiration video. And so I thought we will spare everything else for another video. But I just wanted to make a short note about it and let you know where I've been again, because it's keep coming back and it's happening all over, and it is tough and it will continue to be tough, I know that, but you guys lift me up, you help me, and you're a big part that I'm sitting here now. So thank you. I can't thank you enough, as I've said so many times. Let's get back to March makes and So Frugal 22. I didn't know how to go around this because it is hard to. I thought about comparing what I planned, and I thought about showing the inspiration pictures from bardon, because it is my inspiration video. I will link that up there or up there. It was all about making a ready-to-wear inspired outfit and module using free sewing patterns, and I managed that. I can't believe I did it, but I don't know if there is anyone out there that have used the medicine prednisolone, and it is quite a heavy medicine and it have big side effect, and one side effect is that you can't sleep, and you have quite a lot of pain, just to put it out there. And I have been on that medicine for this whole month, and in the beginning, before I got the cast on my hand, I actually managed to sew 10 items during a 58-hour session where I didn't sleep at all. I just powered through and that is where sewing is so amazing, because I would have been in bed crying if I wouldn't have my sewing and would have made all this. And I'm so grateful for doing it, because I have not been able to do anything else this month. So this is the result of those 58 hours of sewing. There are some mistakes, and you will see them. I will show you them. But I'm really happy with the module, and I'm really happy with what I've created. There are a few things beside the module, since I've created 10 pieces instead of 6. And I think I will refer to the inspiration video, and I will refer to what I was planning on making, but I will just show you what I've been making and the changes I made for those patterns, because I'm sitting here with the inspiration from bardon is copied straight off. I actually did exactly what I wanted and what I was planning on from the last video, but the patterns I've used, I think I've only used 1 or 2 that I've started out with, and that is quite fun, because I've tried all of them and tried to sew them, but it didn't work. I didn't get the results I wanted, so I started over. And yeah, it is completely different patterns, but I was planning on using, let me see, I've written it down here. This is for the planning of the last video. And that says that I was planning on making the fabric store blazer Mariana. That is actually this one, and that worked out great. The set of blazer from Mood Fabrics, that isn't made yet. So daily skirt, frisco skirt, that is made, but a complete disaster, you will see later. Patty-do skirt, jersey skirt. I did another jersey skirt that were more fitting for my body and for my project. I think the patty-do would work out great, but it is a bit more fabric than what I'm using, so that is why I used my other pattern instead. I was supposed to use the fabric store tank top with adding a ruffle. That was a terrible disaster, and I used another pattern and it worked out great. I was supposed to use the verte from It's to Stitch, and that pattern worked out great, but it didn't work with my fabric, and that was the last piece I tried to sew, and then I got really bad, really sick, and it had to be put on ice. So I'm actually having that to finish now after the challenge and all that, but it is still a plan, but it didn't work out before end of March. And finally, I was supposed to make this as the French Navy Stellan tee, and that pattern didn't work at all for my body type. The sleeve, no, not the sleeve, the bodice, what is this called? The shoulder seam was out here, and then it was almost like a square. Very strange, and I actually printed that pattern twice, and I didn't get it to make it. It wouldn't work on me. So I don't know what it is, if I'm too small busted or if I'm too thin or too thick, or yeah, I don't know. But I found the closet core pattern instead, and that worked out great, that t-shirt pattern. So that is what I'm wearing now. But that is what I was supposed to make, and that is all in my plans video. But what I actually did was the same end result as I wanted with these, but using different patterns. So let's start it all off. I don't have the energy to try it on and off and sit down and talk afterwards, so I've tried it earlier today. I got to bed a bit, and then I'm filming this afternoon, so you will see pictures of me inserted here and wearing the pieces I've been talking about. So let's start out with this blazer, because that is a true baby of mine. I'm loving it, and I'm loving the fringe detail I will insert. I don't know why I'm trying to show you the fringe detailing that I've created. I've just cut a piece of linen fabric. The fabric is the linen from IKEA, but not the one I showed you, because I think I showed you the soft grey one, but this was a white one that was a bit more stable, that worked out better. And they have them as is it called, for furniture and so on, upholstery fabric. So, but it is really soft and it is working out great, and I've washed it and it is fabulous linen, so it is really great value for money. It is under definitely under £10 a meter, and definitely under $10 a meter too, so I would say it's about €9 and translate that. And I've used that. This is the only pattern that I've talked about that I've actually used, and that is the Mariana blazer from the fabric store. I think it's called the Mariana jacket actually. It isn't meant to be a blazer as is, because you don't have any darts. It is a very square pattern, but I really liked it, and I lengthened the pattern, the bodice piece 4 inches, and lengthened the sleeve inches, the sleeve piece, pattern pieces 2 inches, and I really got the slouchy blazer pattern that I was looking for. And then I added these fringes, and that was only made by cutting strips of linen fabric and pulling the fibers in the fabric from the same direction, and then sewing that in between the facing and in between the pockets, and I will point out details as I'm speaking. And it is so great, and I have already worn it so much, even though today I woke up to snow, and as I'm looking outside the window, it is snowing heavily. So it isn't the spring weather, it isn't the spring blazer weather at all, but I have it and I will use it and love it. What I would like you to tell me is, should I try and dye it or should I keep it white? How much use of a white blazer can one have in spring and summer? Is it silly to try and think that you can keep it white and keep it clean? And is it better to dye it in kind of a denim blue or something like that? I don't know. You let me know. What do you think? Should I keep it as is and maybe make another blazer, because it was such a quick make? So that wouldn't be a problem at all. I've sewn it with cotton thread, so it's no problem to dye it afterwards. That is one thing you have to think about when you're sewing and planning to dye afterwards. That is to sew with cotton thread. Remember that, because if you're sewing with polyester thread, you will definitely get thread showing through with the same color that it is when you're sewing it. That will never dye if you're using dye for the washing machine. Well, what else is there to say about this blazer? It is made as my topper in this module. My module is a plan of making 6 different items. I make 1 topper, 2 bottoms and 3 tops. And that is what I've made. That is where I started, and then I did some additional makes too. So this is my topper, and it is working with all the other pieces I've made, even the extras, so that is great. But as I'm saying, do you think I should keep it white or dye it blue? Help me and let me know. Next up we have my t-shirt. As you can see here, I made a bit of a twist. I was planning on making a t-shirt, and all over the Bardon site and everywhere else I've been seeing those t-shirts with prints on. Not this print specific, because this is our hashtag for the So Frugal 22, but different kind of prints. On Bardon there were the days of the week, and that was really great, and I'm planning on doing a few of these t-shirts too. Because this is the closet core t-shirt pattern, and it is a great pattern, as all of closet core patterns. They suit me perfect. I don't have to add or distract or do anything from them. Distract, that is not the right word. Subtract was the word I was looking for. Anything. The closet core pattern suits me most of the time, immediately out of the packet. Pants, there are some adjustment to be made, but not a lot. Not the ones I've tried so far. So this pattern was no exception. I love this t-shirt pattern. I am not much for these high crew necks, to be completely fair, but I really like this one, and I like the way the neckband was made. And I made this using this is a bamboo jersey from my stash, very old, one of the first bamboos I bought, super soft and great quality for t-shirts. And I've actually sewn this, since this is maybe not oversized as is, but it is not a close-fitting t-shirt. I've used the Metler, is it called? I will write it down here. It is their stretch thread, and it is the equivalent of the Gutermann Maraflex, and I'm loving sewing with it, because everything that is stretchy nowadays that isn't too close fitting, I'm sewing with that, and I'm using straight stitch, and it is working. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm getting, look, no problem whatsoever. And I'm hemming with it, and I'm using it for the sleeves. Here I've used the technique I talked about, let me show you, in my plans video. It is the cuffing that is so popular too in ready-to-wear. It is Alicia from Thoughtful Creativity. She has a great tutorial about this. I will link that down below, so it's no point for me to doing the same, because she's doing it so much better. And it is a great one. Use that. I used it on this, and I've used it before, and I'm loving it. And it is very popular now to have these kind of hems on your sleeves. So do that. Back to and in that case, it is so easy to use the stretch thread. And try it if you haven't. Believe me, it is so worth trying it. And I am doing, I've sewn the hug hoodie with it. I've sewn a lot of sweatshirts with it. In Sweden, it's a lot easier to get hold of the Metler thread for some reason, or at least here in the Gothenburg area. And I would love to try the Gutermann thread if anyone have any recommendation where I could find it. But yeah, I have used this stretch thread on all my jersey makes in this module, since my serger is having a bit of a fit, and it doesn't want to do what I want it to do. So I have to give it to a repairman, but I have not the money, and I haven't had the energy either. But yeah, money is a bit short. So when I realized that I could use the stretch thread instead, I was so happy. So that was a great way to replace my serger at the moment. Anyway, I will try and make it, but make it work with the serger. But as of now, I'm using the stretch thread and loving it. It is so easy to just use your sewing machine. Well, that was one top. At the bottom, one bottom is my stretch skirt, jersey stretch skirt, and that is the same inspiration as I had in my inspo video from Bardon. And even the double elastic is something I tried, and I'm loving that too. I will insert pictures so you can see more closely. I was using viscose jersey from my stash. And I actually used a pattern called, let me see, the Erna Skirt from Marijke sewing patterns in size 40. I lengthened it quite a bit. I measured myself, so I got it to the from the hips to the foot actually. So I made sure I had enough, and it was working great. It is working great. So I will definitely be using that too. And as you can see on some of the pictures here, I've been actually trying to use it as a dress, and it is working great too. So it is two, what do you call it? Two possible wears in one make. And once again, amazing. I didn't add the pockets as there is a pattern piece for, but I thought that with the viscose jersey it would be a bit too slinky. So that is something I wouldn't add anyway in the viscose jersey. But the dress thing, I think I would like to add some kind of shoulder, what do you call it, shoulder band? No, shoulder elastic or some kind, in some way. Because if you, I don't even know if you see it, but I have a capsule operated here for when I'm under surgery and so on, and it is called putakatt in Swedish. I don't know if that is the English word, but I will write it down here. And I think it shows, and I know I'm silly. My husband thinks I'm very silly there, but I'm feeling it and I'm seeing it, and I don't want it to be shown. It's as easy as that. Since I've lost so much weight, it kind of stands out to me. It stands out and it's very visible. And yeah, I don't want it to show. So I'm going to make some kind of band to cover it up. And but I thought I would use some kind of hook and eye, or I don't really know yet, but or a button or something so I can take it off when I want to use it as a skirt. Because I'm going to use it as a skirt a lot this summer, because that is an item that is great here in Sweden. We don't have that hot summers. So this is easy to cozy up in, and you can put a sweater over your shoulders or maybe a hoodie. And it would be a great piece, a versatile piece. You can put a hoodie over if you're using it as a dress, and that would look great. It's a really great pattern, and I found this pattern company through one of Frugalissima's, Sam's videos about another pattern from this Marijke sewing pattern. I think it's a Dutch pattern company, and yeah, it worked out great. So the Erna Skirt, it's called, and I lengthen it quite a bit. I actually don't know how much, but I measured myself from the hip and down to the foot, and used that measurement. I think that was 103 centimeters or something like that. And then I just made sure that the pattern was as long. So that worked out great. And I'm loving that one too. Now let's continue to the next piece in the module, and that is a very loved, thanks to you, use of my coral and white striped fabric. I showed you this in my plans videos, and you unanimously, you said I should use this. I was so unsure and I felt so insecure about sewing it, but I sewed it up and I'm loving it. I've used it a lot already. I've used it to the hospital, I've used it, and I've gotten a lot of compliments. So thank you for telling me to use that. It is the Kirsten kimono tee, a very simple, straightforward pattern, and I'm loving that one too. All sewn with stretched thread, and I made no adjustment whatsoever. I've sewn size medium, and it is this striped fabric is a viscose jersey too, so it's quite slinky. And I've just folded over the neckband and the sleeve. I've just hemmed it like that, and I'm thinking about other versions, but I don't know quite yet, because this is actually just my second version of this kimono tee, and I don't know why I haven't used it before. So once again, thank you to Simon and RUAN for starting this challenge and making me think outside the box, making me think about all the free patterns. I have promised myself to try and sew at least one free pattern every month. So please keep me accountable to that if I'm doing or thinking about something else. Well, that was a clear winner, that t-shirt, and I hope I have included enough pictures so you can see it. So thank you for that too. That was my second top, and my third top is this camisole from Tammy Handmade. A lot of you have made them this challenge, and I'm loving it just as much as you are. I'm thinking about deepening the scallops on the scalloped edge, because I think they're not quite as visible as I would have liked, but that is of no fault of the pattern. It is me. I was a bit afraid when I sewed, so I was a bit careful, and the next time I'm going to use the pattern piece with the scalloped edge on. I'm going to use that as a template, and I'm going to write on the fabric. I'm not going to cut out the fabric. I'm going to write the scallops on the fabric and then sew that and then cut, because I think that would be much better, and sew 2 layers immediately, and that way I will get my facings and I will get my scallop edged. I don't know yet, but I will try that. But I'm loving this camisole too, so that will be a something that I will use for a lot of fabric that I have leftovers, like almost 1 meter or so on of woven fabrics. It will be great for that, I think. So that you will see a lot of this summer, I promise you. I will try and hack it to a dress too, because I really like the look of it. I think I will widen the straps though, because I think they are a bit tiny, to be completely honest. Because once again, it is this thing. Something up here, I know, but it is there, and it is continue to coming there, and I'm listening to it too much, I know. Well, that was my 3rd top, actually. I have 2 more, but they are extras. No, they aren't. I have 3 more, actually, and that is this make. Also completely inspired by the Bardon website. It is on the Bardon website. It is called linen tank top with a flounce, and they combined it with an elasticated skirt, linen skirt, linen maxi skirt, and I've done just that. The skirt was a project in itself, and I will get back to that, but the tank top was actually planned to make. I was planning to make the tank top from the fabric store, and it didn't work at all. First of all, it wasn't scooped enough, and when I scooped that pattern piece, it was way too, it got distorted somehow, the fabric, I think. I don't think I put enough attention to it, and it was one of those. It was in the end of my batch cutting session that I did that, and as I've said, I sewn for. No, I hadn't started sewing then, but I've been cutting for about 3 or 4 hours, so I was a bit tired of cutting. So I didn't pay enough attention to it, I think. So it got a bit wavy and a bit, distorted. That's the only thing I can think of. And I decided, as I said in the inspo video, that I was just going to cut out a piece of fabric and then going to ruffle it and put it on. And that was what I was supposed to do with 2 pieces of fabric, actually, because the inspo picture was a double ruffle, and I was looking like I was going to fly away somewhere, because they stood straight up. I hope I have the pictures left, because Peter took a couple of pictures to show me when I was actually very happy with it, until I saw his face and I looked myself in the mirror and I realized what he was talking about, because it didn't work at all. I was supposed to do flounce, of course, not a ruffle, because doing a ruffle on these kind of wide, long seams and then making them on top of each other and folding them out like they were on the Bardon side didn't work at all. So I learned something new. I learned the flounce technique, where you have to draw a circle, and I will try and insert some pictures of the pattern pieces. And the inspo for that actually came to me through the Anastasia top that we were supposed to do sew along with Rachel from Stitch Up from. And I've cut out a toile for that the same night that I started my marathon sewing 58 hours. And I have that here, and that made me think how they made that flounce, and I realized that is how I should do it here. So I looked for another pattern, and I found the Bardon dress from Peppermint magazine. They had a collaboration with Spoonflower, and made the Bardon dress, and that is the top itself is quite cropped, and then there are tiers, 3 or 4 tiers to make it a maxi dress. But I took just the top part and lengthened it 4 inches, and added, that was scooped perfectly, and I've added the flounce on that. And I just simply measured the scoop around all the way. And then I divided that measurement with pi, 3.14. I never thought I would use that when I went to school, but now I'm realizing why we learned it. I was going to make flounces when I'm 47 years. It took me about 40 years to use it. Now 35 years to use it, but I'm using the pi now. And then I made it as wide as I wanted. I can make a video about this if you want to. I would have put in pictures already of my top here while talking. And I hope you can see that this is actually what I think is the perfect amount of flounce and poofiness around my neck. I don't want it any bigger. So yeah, I really like how this turned out, and I'm planning on making a dress of this in the summer, because I don't like the tier dress that only has, I like them too, but not as much. I want something on my shoulders, and the flounce is perfect. And I don't know why I haven't realized that before. So I'm definitely going to make that. But I made the bardon dress, bardon top. I will see what size D, as they have their pattern, their size. I will insert measurements here too. And yeah, that worked out great. So I will definitely try that dress as a whole and adding the flounce to that. And I will do more of these tops because I think they work great with the skirt I made. I actually ended up making I took my waist measurement and doubled it. And then I added elastic, and I measured the length I wanted to get the maxi effect, and it worked out great. I added elastic to it, and I think it's looking, thanks to the fabric. This was actually a white linen I had, and I dyed this. This was a bed sheet I used, an old bed sheet that was linen with a little cotton in it. So it's a bit thinner and lighter than pure linen, and I think that was great, both for the skirt and for the top. So what do you think? Tell me, let me know. I've sewn this with cotton thread also, so I could dye it everywhere but under the underarm seam, unfortunately. And I can see that they are too light blue in the thread color, because I thought I was going to dye with a denim jeans color from Dylon, and unfortunately I dyed with dark blue navy color, and I didn't realize that, but that was in the end of these 58 hours of sewing. So you can imagine how my head was after that, and I just put it in the washing machine and continued to sew something else, and took it out and thought, wow, isn't this quite dark? And then I thought, well, it was a very small amount of fabric I dyed, so maybe that is it. It will be better when I dry. Once it dries. It didn't. It still is dark, but I'm loving it. It's working out. It is working out great. So yeah, and at the same time, I had just sewn the skirt that I was supposed to sew, and that is the frisco skirt. I loved the look of it. I thought that there was a maxi skirt with a little twist. It had a, let me see, it was a flat waistband in front. It was buttoned all the way down at the front of the skirt. It was a button band, and there were elastic in the back. So it was it was the perfect skirt actually. The only thing was that even though I printed the pattern, I cut the pattern pieces. No, I traced the pattern pieces. I cut out that pattern pieces. I cut out the fabric using the pattern pieces, and not once did I think about that this is a short skirt. I'm not making a maxi. I thought I was using a lot less fabric than I was planning. Not even that made me think. Can you imagine? I don't get, where did it come from? How did I make it? How did I make such a mistake? Well, I did, and the result of that is this. I don't think I'm going to be using it, because I don't think my legs are ready to be that flashed out there. I know there are a lot of people that would get away with it and look wonderful in it, but I'm not one of those. I will definitely make this skirt later on and make it as a spring skirt, as a maxi skirt, and maybe a knee-length skirt. I really love the pattern. I love the look of it. I love how they constructed it. I love her patterns. It is the pattern maker that is straight. No, what is she called? I will insert that her here. I forgot her name completely. My mind is drawing a lot of blanks now. But she's doing great patterns, and I love her pattern drafting. She is the one who did the Meadowwood blouse, and I really like that. So I will definitely try it. But can you believe how I could end up with that skirt thinking I was doing a maxi skirt? I still can't believe how I ended up like that, but well, it was a lesson learned. And try to think what you are printing and what you are cutting and what you are cutting again and what you are cutting for the third time. Well, it wasn't that much, since it's only a mini skirt as it is now, so it doesn't matter. I didn't even lose that much fabric. But yeah, I was laughing at myself quite hard after that when trying it on and realizing how short it really turned out. So that is why it became a self-drafted skirt, because I was tired then. I just wanted something with my beautiful top, and I so much wanted this to work. That is the main thing. I wanted it to look beautiful, and I think it turned out beautiful. So that is the main thing. Well, what do we have left? I did one more set, and that is kind of a lounge working out set. I don't do much working out, unfortunately, because my body isn't up for it. But I like to think that it is. So I decided to do the HeyJuneHandmade, my beloved pattern company. Adrian has made another wonderful pattern, and it is a free pattern. And it is her mountainpose pants. And that is one more pattern that I can't believe it's free because of the construction of the waistband and so on. It is what do you call it? Flared tights. Flared tights, can you say that? Yeah, I will insert pictures of the pattern here. And it is, I made 4 or 5 so far. And if you would like me to do a sew along, please let me know, because I have made the hug hoodie sew along and I'm editing it now. It would have been finished and it would have been out there a long time ago if my pneumonia hadn't come in the way. But now it is very well on the way, so I'm loving doing sew-alongs, and I would love constructive criticism about how I do it, and if you want, what else you want me to sew and what else you want me to make as a sew-along, because it is so much fun to do it and to share the tips and tricks that I have caught on the way. But back to the mountainpose pants. They are amazing. Jersey pants. I used a denim-like jersey. It is a cotton jersey, so it's quite thin, but it's very soft. I have unfortunately lost a bit more weight now, so that is why they are a bit loose. But this is size medium, and I've lengthened them 3 inches. I've lengthened them 2 inches just over the knee and 1 inch under the knee point. And that is to get the flare at the right place. But I'm loving using them as almost jeans, so to speak. And with that, I made for the first time the blomma tank top from Paradise Pattern. And she is a fellow Swedish girl she's living in Hawaii now, and she made the very popular Hallon dress last year, which I'm looking so much forward to make this year. I bought the pattern, but I haven't made it yet. But after making the blomma tank and her neck binding, and I did a mistake on the neck binding because I thought that she made it as everyone else did it. So I just continued to do what I usually do. And once again, it was quite late that weekend. So then I thought there was something that made me stop and think. And I think I had to cut off a lot of fabric using my method and realizing that she didn't use that method at all. So I will insert pictures of how neatly and how nice I've used it only on the sleeve binding for the tank top. No, not the sleeve, what do you call it? Arm side. and it is so beautiful, and it is looking so ready to wear. And there will be many more blomma tank tops, and I will use it on a lot of tank tops, and I will use it on neckbands too. I will try using it on regular neckbands, on t-shirts and so on, because I love the look of it. I don't have a cover stitch machine, and I'm using a double needle, and it's working great. So yeah, this was a simple tank top, just because I have fabric over from the pants, to be completely honest, and I like a good tank top. I'm gonna lengthen that pattern. I didn't do anything, and this is size 8 I've used here, and I didn't do any changes on this one, but I will lengthen it because I like to have both these kind of tank tops, and I like the tank tops that is below my butt, so I can use it as almost as a mini skirt on top of these kind of leggings and so on. What do we have left? Yeah, we have the Anastasia blouse that I talked about before, the flounce part. I sewed my toile up, and I was watching and looking when Rachel did her sew along, and I love looking at her sew alongs because they are so nice and chatty, and you almost feel like you know her a bit. And yeah, and I love the feeling of that, and I'm hoping that I someday can get to where I can do live sew alongs, because I really like that concept too. What I found with the Anastasia was that it was a bit fiddly, it was a bit tricky. I used the sew along that is existing from the French side, and that helped me a lot. But it was tricky, and my fabric was very slinky, and it was a dyed fabric. It was very pink before, but I dyed it dark purple, and I'm really liking it. What I thought about the pattern was that the sleeve pieces were quite, I don't have thick arms whatsoever, and it was quite tight on me. This was a size European 42, and for the rest of it I would have been very happy making a size 40. I don't need more. I don't know why I keep making too big clothes, but I do, and I will continue to do so probably. But yeah, it is a bit big, but I'm loving the look of it, and I'm loving the feel of it, and I'm thinking of hacking that too into a dress. I would think that would be a lovely summer dress, and maybe put, instead of those you see the little flounce on the sleeve, instead of attaching that, I would like just a thin elastic or maybe shirring there to get a small, very small flounce or ruching or effect or something like that, and then have that flounce around the neck, because the flounce around the neck is a very beautiful neckline and it suits me perfectly. I just need to make it smaller, because I couldn't put in the buttons because it was way too big using the buttons. So I cut off the small button bands and just use a button placket. No, I sewed it together actually. Sorry, my mistake. I sewed it together. So that is what I did with that. But I'm really liking it, and I will definitely make more now that I know how to make them, and I know to size down and how to do it. So my final piece, and that is not something I could include in the Sew Frugal challenge, is my wearable billie blanket from Do It Better Yourself Club, DIBYC, I think it is. I don't know how active she is anymore, unfortunately, because she has great patterns. But this pattern is almost a love of my life. Maybe not, that was a big word, but a very big love in my life, so to speak. I had the green one that I showed you, that my husband calling the little ghost here in Sweden, La Bolina. And now he's gotten another one, because now I'm using the grey fabric that I bought in the beginning of March, the first week of March, that I showed you from Selfmade. And I used that fabric and made a size X small instead, because the green one is a double XL, I think, and it is way too big. Even this is big, but this is copeable, and I can wear it, and I feel I can use it over tights. And it got a bit too short because I did a silly mistake there too. It was too late. It was too late in the night. I cut the pattern piece the wrong way. This fabric has a nap, and I did it the completely wrong way, and it would have been very uncomfortable to have it like that. So I had to change it all around, and I didn't have fabric enough, simply. And so I wasn't able to make a long one, but this is to my knees, and it is very well enough to, it is a great pattern, a great thing to wear. I wear it at night, I wear it in the morning when I wake up, I wear it in the evening in the sofa. So if you have anyone who likes the thought of a blanket with sleeves, use this pattern, promise me that. It is free, it is so cozy, it is great, I promise you. And as you see here, I love it. You can see it in my eyes almost. It is silly that these are almost my two most favorite makes the last 2 years. But maybe it says a bit something how my life is at the moment, or has been for a long while. But anyway, I'm loving them both. But I'm using this grey much more than the green one now because it is a bit easier to wear. It's not so heavy, if nothing else. This was all my March make. And as I said, I made them in 58 hours, so you can do it. But I wouldn't prefer it, and I wouldn't advise it. But in my situation, it worked out great. And I'm so thankful that I managed to do anything for the So Frugal 22. And I'm so thankful to RUAN and to Sam and to all of you other people out there that had reached out to me and to talk to me about my video. And to those of you that only seen my inspiration video and none of my other videos and then seen this, I'm so sorry if I haven't responded to your comments, but I have a big fracture in my hand and my doctors aren't allowing me to use the computer in a way that I wanted to be able to answer the comments and so on. I haven't even given them, most of them, a heart yet because I want to save them so I can see them. Now it's starting to be trouble, so I think I'm going to do so that I'm going to show you that I've read them, and I thought about reading them out loud and talking about them, but I didn't manage it, to be completely honest. I tried it during this period and I got too emotional. And I know it's silly because a lot of the comments are just kind, nice, everyday comments about what you think about what I'm doing, but it got to me, and it's been a very tough month. So I think I'm going to give all of you that have reached out to me a heart, and I think I'm going to start fresh now and try and start to, if I'm able to respond. I don't know what's going to happen with my hand, but we will see. I think I might be able to try if I take a couple each day, because I love hearing from you. So please let me know what you think about this. Please come back, please subscribe, please let's make a community here that is open and safe. We need safe now, and we need lots of funding. We need a lot of giving each other a lot of encouragement. And you people are fantastic at that. I know that so far. And I'm loving it. I'm loving every minute of it. And I'm so thankful that I got out of bed again and started filming again, because I just feel how much fun this is and how much fun we will have later on this spring. And with all the planning I have, and with all my thoughts and everything, I hope you can contribute with and share with me and learn me and teach me and everything. Please stick around. Thank you for all your love, and thank you for being there, and thank you for watching this long video again. I will try and keep them shorter, I promise, but this was a long make, a lot of makes. And I hope to get back to you very soon. I hope to get back to you already by Friday. I don't know when this will be published because it depends on how well I'm feeling and how fast I can edit it. But stay safe and give your loved ones a big hug tonight, because we all need that hug. And take care of each other, and love yourself, and love each other. And have a wonderful evening. Bye for now and see you soon, I hope.